ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायशो भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। मम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Yes, so we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, verse, chapter 5, verse 29. एकवर्णं तमसः परं तद् अलोकमव्यक्तमनन्तपारम् आसां चकारोप सुपर्णम् एनम् उपासते योगरथेन धीरः. The Supreme Person of Godhead is situated in pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, and therefore he is Ekavarna, the Omkara, Pranava. Because the Lord is beyond the cosmic manifestation, which is considered to be darkness, is not visible to materialize. Nonetheless, he is not separated from us by time or space, but is present everywhere. Seated on his carrier, Garuda, he is worshipped by means of mystical yogic power by those who have achieved freedom from agitation. Dhiraha. Yogarathena dhiraha. Yogarathena means by the chariot of the yoga, mystic yoga. It is Ashtanga yoga. Dhiraha, those who are sober. He is worshipped. Let us all offer our respectful obeisances unto him. Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shabditam. In this material world, the three modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, prevail. Among these three, goodness is the platform of knowledge. Passion brings about a mixture of knowledge and ignorance. But the mode of ignorance is full of darkness. Passion brings about a mixture of knowledge and ignorance, uh, means knowledge and lack of knowledge. That is ignorance. And the third one is mode of ignorance. Is full of darkness, which is no knowledge. Therefore, the Supreme Person of Godhead is beyond darkness and passion. And devotees also, uh, they they go beyond darkness, mode of passion and ignorance. He is on the platform where goodness or knowledge is not disturbed by passion and ignorance. This is called Vasudeva platform. It is on this platform of Vasudeva that Vasudeva or Krishna can appear. So two things. One is Prabhupada says that when somebody is above the modes, they are not disturbed by passion and ignorance. Also, they are not disturbed by goodness also. In the sense, mundane goodness. Of course, here it's saying that even if somebody is in the mode of goodness, it is a favorable situation for Krishna to enter the heart. He is on the platform where goodness or knowledge is not disturbed by passion and ignorance. So normally, in material world, nobody can be purely on the platform of goodness because everybody has mixed modes. So only when they come to the platform of goodness where passion and ignorance don't disturb, which means Shuddha Sattva, it is pure, pure. Of course, so this pure mode of goodness is different from general mode of goodness, wherein it is more materially attached. So this Shuddha Sattva is pure and Nothing to do with this material world. So it is only on this platform that Vasudeva or Krishna can appear. Thus, Krishna appeared on this planet as the son of Vasudeva. Because the Lord is situated beyond the three modes of material nature, he is unseen by those who are dominated by these three modes. So, till we are dominated by material modes of goodness, passion, ignorance, we cannot see Krishna. Prabhupada used to say, people challenge us saying that, can you show God? But the question is not whether we can see God. The question is whether we are qualified to see God. As long as we are in the modes, dominated by the modes, we can't see Him. And as we make progress in devotion, so first is Tado Raja Tamo Bhavas Kama Lobhadayaschaye Tesha Esham Anavidham Stitam Satve Prasidati. So first is Tamo Guna and Raja Guna has to go and devotee comes to the stage of goodness. Then devotee crosses the mode of material goodness and comes to the stage of pure goodness. Right? And all this happens automatically by the practice of devotion. No separate endeavor is required. Hmm. And before making further progress, first, even when he comes to the mode of goodness, he will become a dhira, undisturbed by the modes. The process of yoga may be practiced by one who is free from the agitation of these modes. Traigunya Vishya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavatun. So, like we can understand, like goodness has lower end and upper end. The lower end is influenced by the modes, and the upper end of goodness is not influenced by the modes, and that can be called Shuddha Sattva. Because everywhere it is said goodness, goodness, goodness. So, the process of yoga may be practiced by one who is free from the agitation of these modes. That is the Shuddha Sattva platform. Therefore, yoga is defined in this way: Yoga Indriya Samyamaha. As previously explained, we are disturbed by the indriyas or senses. Moreover, we are agitated by the three modes of material nature, which are imposed upon us by the external energy. In conditional life, the living entity moves turbulently in the whirlpool of birth and death. But when one is situated on the transcendental platform of Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness, you can see the Supreme Person of Godhead who sits on the back of Garuda. Lord Brahma offers his respectful obeisances unto that Supreme Lord. So even Gnanis, they can reach this stage of being Dhira. Yogis also can reach, but they can't achieve Krishna. They can't come to the stage of seeing Krishna. So for which they have to add bhakti into their sadhana. So this is a platform where the modes don't have any influence, which means that they're above the material consciousness, conception. But still they can't see Supreme Lord unless there is bhakti, unless they've added bhakti to their sadhana. So which is why other processes cannot achieve perfection, cannot give us perfection without bhakti yoga. And bhakti yoga doesn't require any other process. That's why bhakti is so powerful. Other processes require bhakti for perfection. Bhakti doesn't require other process. Nasya kaschatitirati mayam yaya jano muhyati vedanarham tam nirjitatmatmagunam paresham namama bhuteshu samam charantam. No one can overcome the Supreme Person of Godhead's illusory energy, Maya, which is so strong that it bewilders everyone, making one lose the sense to understand the aim of life. That same Maya, however, is subdued by the Supreme Person of Godhead who rules everyone and who is equally disposed toward all living entities. Let us offer our obeisances unto him. The prowess of the Supreme Person of Godhead, Vishnu, certainly controls all living entities, so much so that the living entities have forgotten the aim of life. Nate vidu swartagatim hi Vishnu. The living entities have forgotten that the aim of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. The external energy of the Supreme Person of Godhead gives all conditioned souls what appears to be an opportunity to be happy within this material world. What appears to be an opportunity to be happy. It's not real. It's not real. It's not there. It just appears like an opportunity, and we are running behind that opportunity, hoping that we are going to be happy. But that is Maya. In other words, it is a dream that is never to be fulfilled. So it's a dream. You have to remember this material world is a dream because it's just connected with one body, one form, one life of ours, which is nothing, which is a speck in our eternal journey. So it's like if you are sleeping for 6 hours, then this life, if that is our whole journey, then this life is like 1 minute of that journey. Who takes 1 minute of us sleep so seriously? Mm. Uh, Thus, every living entity, living being is illusioned by the external energy of the Supreme Lord. That illusory energy is undoubtedly very strong, but she is fully under the control of the transcendental person who is described in these words as Parayesham, transcendental Lord. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti. Maya Adhyakshena. So she is under the control of Krishna. The Lord is not a part of the material creation, but is beyond the creation. Therefore, not only does he control the conditioned souls through his external energy, but he also controls the external energy itself. Bhagavad Gita clearly states that the Maya Metam Tarantide. Clearly states that the strong material energy controls everyone and that getting out of our control is extremely difficult. That controlling energy belongs to the Supreme Person of Godhead and works under his control. The living entities, however, being subdued by the material energy, have forgotten the Supreme Lord. Actually, when we read this, we feel like, yes, 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 I can understand. But material energy is so strong that even devotees forget that they are spirit souls, isn't it? Mm. By default, we are living thinking we are the body. By default. And so she's very strong. Mm. Mameva ye prapadyante. Only one who surrenders to Krishna. Mameva. Only to Krishna. Nobody else. Maya metam tarantite. So we can uh, subdue this or overcome her influence. And remember at every moment that we are actually not this body. Mm. It's just like in a dream. When we are in a dream, we can't understand that we are in a dream. We can understand we are in a dream only when we wake up from the dream. Right? So now we have to come out of this illusion of this material body. इमे वयं यत् प्रिययैव तन्वा सत्त्वेन सृष्टा बहिरन्तराविः गतिं न सूक्ष्मां ऋषयश्च विद्महे कुतो सुराद्या इतरप्रधानाः. Since our bodies are made of sattva guna, we, the demigods, are internally and externally situated in goodness. All the great saints are also situated in that way. Therefore, if we cannot understand the Supreme Person of Godhead, what is to be said of those who are most insignificant in their bodily constitutions, being situated in the modes of passion and ignorance? So, just being in the mode of goodness is of no use. Mm. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. If you want to understand the Supreme Lord, one has to be a devotee. How can I understand the Lord? Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Him. Deities and demons cannot understand the Supreme Person of Godhead, although He is situated within everyone. For them, the Lord finally appears in the form of death. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. The atheists think that they are independent and therefore they do not care about the supremacy of the Lord. Yet the Lord asserts His supremacy when He overcomes them as death. Mm. So only when we have problems will we remember Krishna. Mm. So mm, that is also short-term atheism, right? Long-term atheism is not till death, not thinking about Krishna. When death comes in thinking, oh, death is taking everything away. And death is the energy of the Lord. Time. So atheists think that they are independent, therefore they do not care about the supremacy of the Lord. They don't care. That is the only difference between atheists and devotees. Devotees care, but we forget. Atheists forget and they don't care also. At the time of death, their attempts to use their so-called scientific knowledge and philosophical speculation to deny the supremacy of the Lord cannot work. It is what Shankaracharya said. Nahi nahi rakshati dukkaran karan. All your grammatical jugglery is not going to help you at the time of death. Hiranyakashipu, for example, was an exalted representative of the atheistic class. He always challenged the existence of God and thus he became inimical even toward his own son. Everyone was afraid of Hiranyakashipu's atheistic principles. Nonetheless, when Lord Narasimhadev appeared in order to kill him, Hiranyakashipu's atheistic principles could not save him. Lord Narasimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu and took away all his power, influence, and pride. Atheistic men, however, never understand how everything they create is annihilated. The super soul is situated within them, but because of the predominance of the modes of passion and ignorance, they cannot understand the supremacy of the Lord. So, though super soul is situated within us, why can't we understand Krishna? Because of the predominance of modes of passion and ignorance, Prabhupada is saying. So, looks like these modes of passion and ignorance cover us in such a way that super soul, even though super soul is there, we're not able to understand him. Even the demigods, devotees who are transcendently situated or situated on the platform of goodness are not fully aware of the qualities and position of the Lord. How then can demons and atheists understand the Supreme Lord? So it's only devotee who can understand the Supreme Lord. And I've explained this before. Devotee knowing Supreme Lord means devotees can only understand what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. And they can understand because they trust Krishna's words and they implement whatever he's saying in their life. And they understand, oh, yeah, Krishna, this is what Krishna is meaning. This is what he's saying. But those who are not devotees, who don't have faith in Krishna, they won't understand what Krishna is. Because to understand a person, we need to be, uh, in association with that person. And we'll be in association with that person by hearing from him, from his representatives. So we are very fortunate that we can understand the Supreme Lord. पादौ महीयं स्वकृतैव यस्य चतुर्विधो यत्र हि भूतसर्गः स वै महापुरुष आत्मतन्त्रः प्रसीदतां ब्रह्म महाभिभूतिः. On this earth, there are four kinds of living entities who are all created by him. The material creation rests on his lotus feet. He is the great supreme person, full of opulence and power. May he be pleased with us. So when we hear these, prayers, we can understand the mood of all different types of devotees, right? So, for example, the Rajavasis, they never glorify Krishna's opulence so much. They're simply lost in his sweetness, so much so that they even forget that he's the Supreme Lord. And so, no question of glorifying him like, official glorification like this. They might even use this glorification to taunt Krishna. We say, what? You're Rama? You think you're Rama? Okay, now construct this bridge. Let's see. So, Of course, it can't be imitated, but we should understand also that we have to reach that stage of love, pure love, where though Krishna is possessing all these opulences, they don't disturb us or distract us. Because for Vrajavasis, Krishna, understanding of Krishna's opulence or awareness of Krishna's opulence is a disturbance to that pure love. The word Mahi refers to the five material elements earth, water, air, fire, and sky, which rest upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Rest upon means depend on Him. Mahatpadam Punyesho Murarehe. The Mahat Tattva rests on His lotus feet, for the cosmic manifestation is but another opulence of the Lord. So, unless He desires, nothing happens. In this cosmic manifestation, there are four kinds of living entities. Jarayuja, those born from embryos, Andaja, from eggs, Swedaja, from perspiration, Udbhija, from seeds. Everything is generated from the Lord, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha. No one is independent, but the Supreme Soul is completely independent. Janmadhyasya Yatho Anvayad Itaratas Vigna Swarat. Swarat means independent. We are dependent, whereas the Supreme Lord is completely independent. We are dependent, but we want to think that we are independent. This is our illusion. This is our foolishness. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the greatest of all. Even Lord Brahma, who created this cosmic manifestation, is but another opulence of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And as we become more advanced in devotion, we start to clearly understand that I am not in control, that everything is happening by Krishna's will, by Krishna's mercy. We will start understanding it slowly, steadily. But the more we are in the modes, the more we think we are the doers. The more we make progress, the more we understand we are not the doers. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is the greatest of all. Even Lord Brahma, who created the cosmic manifestation, is but another opulence of the Supreme Lord. The material creation is activated by the Lord, and therefore the Lord is not a part of the creation. The Lord exists in his original spiritual position. The universal form of the Lord, Vairaja Murti, is another feature of the Supreme Personal Godhead. And this universal form is a temporary form. It's not a transcendental form. It's only related to this material world, and it doesn't exist in the spiritual world. So it's a temporary form. Ambastu yadreta udara viryam siddhyanti jivantyuta vardhamanaha lokha yatota thakila lokapalaha prasidatamna samahabhibhutihi. Entire cosmic manifestation has emerged from water, and it is because of water that all living entities endure, live, and develop. This water is nothing but the semen of the Supreme Person of Godhead. Therefore, may the Supreme Person of Godhead, who has such great potency, be pleased with us. Despite the theories of so-called scientists, the vast quantities of water on this planet and on other planets are not created by a mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. Rather, the water is sometimes explained to be the perspiration and sometimes the semen of the Supreme Person of Godhead. It is from water that all living entities emerge, and because of water, they live and grow. If there were no water, all life would cease. Water is the source of life for everyone. Therefore, by the grace of the Supreme Lord, we have so much water all over the world. So Prabhupada is saying it's not hydrogen plus oxygen. It is coming directly from the Supreme Lord. Of course, all elements are coming directly from the Supreme Lord. So whatever the scientists claim to be causes for the creation of these elements is all wrong. Because they're not able to see the Sarva Karana Karanam. They're seeing some so-called material reasons for their creation. Samam mano yasya samam mananti divaukasam yo balamandha ayuhu isho naganam prajana prajanam prasidatam na samahabhibhutihi. Soma, the moon, is the source of food grains, strength and longevity for all the demigods. He is also the master of all vegetation and the source of generation for all living entities. As stated by learned scholars, the moon is the mind of the Supreme Person of Godhead. May the Supreme Lord, the source of all opulences, be pleased with us. So moon is so important. It's the source of food grains, the rasa in the food grains, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. So it's also the source of strength and longevity for all the demigods. He is also the master of all vegetation, the source of generation for all living entities. Stated by the learned scholars, he is the mind of the Supreme Lord. So many opulences of moon. Mm, mm. Unfortunately, modern so-called scientists who do not fully understand the moon describe the moon as being full of deserts. Since the moon is the source for our vegetation, how can the moon be a desert? The moonshine is the vital force for all vegetation. Therefore, we cannot possibly accept that the moon is a desert. So Prabhupada is using tarka, logic to say that doesn't make sense. What scientists say. Agnirmukham yasya tu jata veda jata kriya kandak nimitta janma antas samudre nupachan swadhatun prasidatam nassa mahabhibhutihi. Fire, which is born for the sake of accepting oblations in ritualistic ceremonies, is the mouth of the Supreme Lord. Fire exists within the depths of the ocean to produce wealth. So all the pearls, etc., which are produced inside the depth of the ocean is due to the fire in the depth. So we have to wonder how fire can exist in water. That is the potency of the Supreme Lord. And fire is also present in the abdomen to digest food and produce various secretions for the maintenance of the body. May the Supreme Lord be pleased with us. So, every aspect of our existence depends on the Supreme Lord. So, we have to recognize this, that we are simply dependent on Him. So, no, it is foolishness again to think we are independent. Yachakshurasit taranir devayanam trayimyo brahmana yesha dvaram chamukter amritam chamrutyuhu prasidatam na samahabhibhutihi. The sun god marks the path of liberation, which is called Archidadi Vartma. This is the path for liberation, the gradual process. He is the chief source for understanding of the Vedas. He is the abode where the absolute truth can be worshipped. He is the gateway to liberation, and he is the source of eternal life as well as the cause of death. Sun God is the eye of the Lord. So whenever may the Supreme Lord, who is supremely opulent, be pleased with us. So whenever we see anything of this material world, if we are in proper knowledge, we understand how all of this is a manifestation of some opulence of the Lord. So, but difference between devotees and non-devotees worship these entities like sun, moon, etc. as independently powerful. That is the difference. And devotees understand, no, they're not independently powerful, they're dependently powerful. They're made powerful by the desire of the Lord. So in every situation, we can connect ourselves back to Krishna as the Sarvakarana Karanam. Sun god is considered to be the chief of the demigods. He is also considered to be the demigod who watches the northern side of the universe. He gives help for understanding the Vedas. Yachakshuresha savita sakalagrahanam raja samasta suramurti raste ashesha tejaha yasyagnaya brahmati sambrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Chakshuresha, he is eye. Savita is sun. Sakalagrahana. So he is the king of all planets. Sakalagrahanam Raja. Chakshuresha, Savita, Sakalagrahanam Raja, Samasta Suramurti. And he is the Sura, gods. Samasta Suramurti. So he is the main amongst all the gods. Ashesha Tejaha. So he has infinite effulgence. And Yasya Agnaya Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhajami Yasya Agnaya Brahmati Samvrita Kalchakru. I adore the Primal Supreme Lord Govinda, in pursuance of whose order The sun performs his journey mounting the wheel of time. Sambrata. His journey is some Brahmana, Brahmati. So because of by Krishna's order, the sun is rotating. No, he's on the yeah. So science says sun is fixed, but Bhagavatam says sun is rotating. The sun is actually the eye of the Lord. In the Vedic mantras, it is said that unless the Supreme Lord sees, no one can see. Mm. Unless there is sunlight, no living entity on any planet can see. Therefore, the sun is considered to be the eye of the Supreme Lord. That is confirmed here by the words Yet Chakshur Asit, and in the Brahma Samhita by the words Yet Chakshuresha Savita. The word Savita means the sun god. प्राणादभूत्यस्य चराचराणां प्राणः सहो बलम् ओजश्च वायुः अन्वास्मसम्राजमिवानुगावयं प्रसीदतां नः स महाविभूतिः. All living entities, moving and non-moving, receive their vital force, their bodily strength, and their very lives from the air. All of us follow the air for our vital force, exactly as servants follow an emperor. The vital force is generated from the original vital source of the Supreme Person of Godhead. May that Supreme Lord be pleased. So, earth, water, fire, air, everything has abilities and everything is an emanation from the Supreme Lord. Mhm. May the supremely powerful person of Godhead be pleased with us. The different directions are generated from his ears. The wholes of the body come from his heart. And the vital force, the senses, the mind, the air within the body, and the ether, which is the shelter of the body, come from his navel. Mahendra, the king of heaven, was generated from the prowess of the Lord. The demigods were generated from the mercy of the Lord. Lord Shiva was generated from the anger of the Lord. Lord Brahma from his sober intelligence. Vedic mantras from the bodily holes of the Lord. Great saints and Prajapatis from his genitals. May the supremely powerful Lord be pleased with us. The goddess of fortune was generated from his chest. Inhabitants of Pitruloka from his shadow. Religion from his bosom. Irreligion, opposite of religion, from his back. Heavenly planets from the top of his head, Apsaras from his sense enjoyment. May the supremely powerful person of Godhead be pleased with us. Brahmanas and Vedic knowledge come from the mouth. Kshatriyas and bodily strength from his arms. Vaishyas and their expert knowledge in productivity and wealth come from his thighs. And Shudras, who are outside of Vedic knowledge, come from his feet. May the Supreme Lord, who is full in prowess, be pleased with us. Prasidatam, Prasidatam. Mahavibhuti. So Brahma is describing Mahavibhuti, all the great opulences of Krishna. Right? Greed is generated from his lower lip, affection from his upper lip, bodily luster from his nose, animalistic lusty desires from his sense of touch, Yamaraja from his eyebrows, and eternal time from his eyelashes. May the Supreme Lord be pleased with us. So animalistic lusty desires is from his sense of touch. So that is why that lust is very, very powerful. Because it's a sense of touch. So it can bewilder us. And hence it is suggested that that there is separation, physical separation between the genders. Because the touch is the touch of the Supreme Lord, which can awaken lusty desires. All learned men say that the five elements, eternal time, fruitive activity, three modes of material nature, and the varieties produced by these modes are all creations of Yogamaya. This material world is therefore extremely difficult to understand, but those who are highly learned have rejected it. May the Supreme Lord, who is the controller of everything, be pleased with us. So, they are not all creations of Yogamaya. In the sense, they are all creations of the Lord. And Yogamaya is function is the Shakti of Krishna which makes these things work. But they're not produced by Maya, they're produced by Krishna. But Maya, Krishna gives them to Maya to use them in a certain way. In fact, when creation happens, all the elements are created and none of them are able to work. Then Lord Vishnu enters all of them through his Shakti of material external energy. He enters them. And then they become functional, animated. Till then they were inanimate. They were dysfunctional. The word Durvibhavyam is very important. No one can understand how everything is happening in this material world by arrangement of the Supreme Lord through his material energies. Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Satcharacharam. Everything is happening under the direction of the Supreme Lord. This much we can learn, but how it is happening is extremely difficult to understand. For example, if we read the process of creation or dissolution, we can't understand at all how one thing is coming from the other, how one thing is going into another. The destruction process is reverse of creation. So when something came out of something else, the reverse process is that whatever came out goes back and re-enters into the thing from which it came. Almost like rewinding a tape. So it's very difficult to understand. We cannot even understand how the affairs within our body are systematically taking place. How the food we are digesting, we can't understand. The body is a small universe. And since we cannot understand how things are happening in the small universe, how can we understand the affairs of the bigger universe? So, understanding the small universe is not easy for everybody. Nowadays, everybody, there is a doctor on, multiple doctors everywhere. But it requires superior intelligence to understand the body because it's microcosmos. It's like a small universe. So it's so complicated. Somebody can't think that, no, no, I'm just studied 4 years of MBBS and some 2 years of PhD or whatever, post graduation, etc. and something, right? That I know I can understand the body. No, it's not so easy. Ayurveda, those who used to practice Ayurveda traditionally, previously, they used to learn under gurus for many years because not everything can be known by our own study. And then the gurus will reveal secrets, their realizations, their experience, and that's how a student becomes qualified. Otherwise, it's not possible by simply our own reading, and it's similar to transcendental knowledge. We can understand, right? We can read and understand to some extent, but when some pure devotee, realized devotee explains something, then we are actually able to understand what is being said or understand it further, deeper. So this universe is very difficult to understand. Yet learned sages have advised, as Krishna has also advised, that this material world is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Place of misery and temporality. One must give up this world and go back home, back to Godhead. However difficult it is to understand, don't have to break your head to understand this material world. Just understand that it's temporary. And it is a place of misery. Materialists may argue this material world and its affairs are impossible to understand. How can we reject it? The answer is provided by the word prabhuddhapabadham. We have to reject this material world because it is rejected by those who are learned in Vedic wisdom. Even though we cannot understand what this material world is, we should be ready to reject it in accordance with the advice of learned persons, especially the advice of Krishna. Krishna says, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalema shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls or yogis in devotion will never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they have attained the highest perfection. One has to return home back to Godhead, for this is the highest perfection of life. To go back to Godhead means to reject this material world. Although we cannot understand the functions of this material world and whether it is good for us or bad, in accordance with the advice of the Supreme Authority, we must reject it. And there's no point in devotees becoming more and more attached to material world, creating more and more bondage by possessing things and getting stuck to it. It doesn't make sense. Yesterday I was having a discussion with some devotee who's God, who's a little bit stuck in some uh, trying to build some house, and so much of money and effort is stuck. Right? Too much endeavor, too much endeavor for something which is not going to remain with us for long. By the time people build their own houses, they're already like 50, 55 years. What is the use? For how long will you stay? Um, then they'll say, no, no, I'm building this for my children. So these kind of absurd reasons we give, and we waste our time, simply waste our time. So we don't even know whether it is good or bad for us. So one of the very important things, especially for devotees to learn, is whenever one is taking a very important decision which will result in multi years of engagement. It could be a loan, it could be moving to a new city or a new area, new locality, or whatever, anything which is involving, which will take years of involvement or change of focus. They should not take those decisions independently. They should actually talk to more experienced devotees and before they take such decisions, because otherwise the decisions will be purely material and they'll bind us. So like I was talking to one devotee who had bought a site and is constructing a house now, which is not, so far he was just next door to our center and now he wants to move there, and I was saying, then what will happen to your devotion? You're still like so nascent in your devotion, early stages. If you go there, then you'll stop coming. You'll stop your devotion in course of time. So something that you are doing, which you think is most important project, can become the most detrimental project, most destructive project for you if it takes you away from devotion. And Maya is very, very powerful. She just sees where is our weakness, and then she will attack. I mean, she will attack not because she wants us to fail, but she wants to test also. She's also playing that role for Krishna. So, of course, then we will have our material conditioning will pull us down. So, very difficult to understand what is good or what is bad for us by our own abilities. Mhm. Okay, so we'll stop here. There any questions, comments? Anything, anybody? Okay, if nothing, then we can